I've seen a couple videos lately of people trying to find a cheaper, more available option for a fuel pump replacement. And I thought, I've got an idea. Let's find a less available, more expensive fuel pump option. Now that I'm a farmer, I try to rotate the bikes per week. I try to go for a ride every morning just to clear my head while it's still cool, and I rotate them out by weeks. And I went to turn on the Jenny the other day and no pump. So I kind of figured this was coming because it never sounded the best. It always had kind of an odd sound to it, but I was kind of like, whatever, let's just I don't know, keep going until it doesn't work, and now it doesn't work. So I've drained the tank already, and so we just got to get this off, get the fuel pump out, which is kind of the hard part, and I've got an idea. So stay with me on this one because I think this might work. So just hold your naners, hold them. Let's get her done. Let's do it. So I've seen a couple videos lately of people working on fuel pumps, and there's always been a search for a cheaper, more available fuel pump, just in case we ever run out of fuel pumps. Spoiler alert, we won't. But just in case, people want to have that option, and everyone's trying to find a cheaper, more available option, and I thought, well, that's not my style. Can we find a less available, more expensive option, and see if we can make that work? So that's what I'm going to do today. Jenny needs a fuel pump, and we're going to put in a Walboro pump. It's the same pump, but this is the high output pump. These are always actually a little more available, but they're more expensive because nobody wants to use them, because there's no reason to unless you're putting out need more fuel. Well, this one, in theory, needs a little more. It's got the H5 cams in it, the high compression pistons, and some different fuel injectors in it. So let's give it a different fuel pump too. So stay with me and let's see if I can find a more expensive option for no particular reason. Alrighty, so once you drain the tank, you can tip it on its side, and I just kind of dam it up with rags so it doesn't tip over while I'm working with it, and it won't leak any gas. As long as you get as much out as you can, siphon out as much as you can. I've never had them leak unless I didn't empty them. So we got a snap ring to remove, and then you're going to need a little bolt that goes into that center hole there to remove it. Now there's some sort of tool for that. I don't have that, never have, probably never will. So I use a hammer. I use a claw hammer, and I just kind of pry it out as I go, and I put a rag in between here and the paint, so we don't scratch the paint, and just kind of work it out. And yeah, let's do it. And I don't know if you guys are like me and just a hater of snap rings, but boy do I hate snap rings. One of these days I'm just gonna have to learn how to fucking get good at them, I guess. But boy do I hate snap rings. Well, with that said, huh? I need to just get like a, I don't know, a bigger set maybe. Just put them all the way down. Okay. This always happens when it's hot out too, you know, like fucking hey. I put them as far down as I could, get a little more leverage, I guess. Broke that fucker too. These aren't even the Harbor Freight, these are channel locks, you know. I'm just gonna have to break down and get a better set. It shouldn't take too much to get it out. Sometimes it can get a little stuck, but. Alright, let's get this gas-scented sumbitch out of here. I'm kind of worried about the liner in here too, so I've been wanting to eyeball it. Or nor. Rebuilt at one time. Yeah, so what we're gonna end up doing is pulling off these little clips here, and that will release the pressure manifold. Someone put some clip on there. Let me take this outside real quick. Stinking up in here. Okay, so let's see what we got. The liner is still intact. A couple sections that look maybe a little, you know, peely, but nothing too crazy. It looks a little bubbly in there, but it's not like soft. So we're just gonna kind of roll with it. I'm not in the mood to reline a tank, and it's not quite bad enough yet, so just roll with it. Okay. So yeah, so we got the fuel pump here. It looks like somebody put a wire on this back, you know, some time ago. Okay, well, let's see if we can get this fuel pump off here. And then we'll talk about this fuel pump I'm going to put on there. Oh, I'm using this, but oh, I'm using that. I should be using this. That's why I brought it. Two snap rings and some screws. A lot of rust in here. I don't like that. I don't like seeing all that rust. Filter is still good. I may end up having to lube that up. There we go. Get it spinning and it should come out of there fairly easy. Now when I was diagnosing this, I hooked up to the power plug and saw that power was getting to the fuel pump. So I know, you know, it wasn't anything past that. So when I tried to jump it, you know, it wouldn't pop, so and look at that thing. That's no bueno. I'm gonna go inside for a bit because it's starting to get hot out here. But we're gonna replace, I've got everything here. Put this back, I don't need this anymore. Let's see. I ordered the whole shebang here. So we got a straw and a filter and a gasket and all that stuff. We got, what else did I order? Oh yeah, there's the fuel pump kit. Cool. So yeah, let's go inside. Let's let this sit for a minute, and then we will. This started out white. I'm just joking. And then we will think about cleaning this up. Maybe someone took some time to do. One of the things you really got to look for is to make sure this isn't cracked. They tend to crack right on the bottom here when they do go, and then they'll start. You know, then the fuel pressure won't build. And this one looks okay. Cool. Yeah, definitely someone had, you know, stored it at one time with not a lot of gas in it. So that's a bummer. It happens. Shit happens over 25, 6, 7, 8 years, however long it's been. So we'll, let's go eat some lunch, cool down a bit. We'll come take care of this shit. Okay, now I am sufficiently ated, and we can start to reassemble this thing. Got my strizzle. The good stuff, put the bad stuff in the bin, like this. Okay, so we're going to be putting in a 526 pump, which is the same size as the 521, right? Main difference is that this 521 puts out 45 psi, and it puts out like 16 gallons per hour. And the new one, the different one, is same psi, 45 psi, but 25 gallons per hour, something like that. So the only difference is this is a higher output, not pressure. It's not a higher pressure, just output. So I figured, what the hell, let's give it the old whirl and see what happens, you know what I mean? Okay, we got a red, we got a white and a black. Seems like red still, so okay, so let's put this all back together here. Oh, sunshine and raviolis. Macaroni. Man. Let's see, how did I do this last time? I think I went the other way, huh? Can't remember how I did this last time. It's got to be an easier way. Red's positive, white is negative, stripey stripe. I know I've done this before. I've done it several times. Here we go, this way? Is that the way it was? We gotta bend it some way to get it in there. I just don't remember which way. Okay, well. Let's remove this. Macaroni. Get off there, woo! Okay. Finally got that on there. Yep. Okay, so let's give... That's why we didn't put these on yet. Thought something was weird. I don't know, it just didn't feel right. Should have stayed with my gut. So let's get that on next. Macaroni. I don't want to twist these because plastic bits can get fragile. Okay, we loosened it up. We're doing that. I got one left. Okay. Hopefully we didn't put too much strain on the plastic parts. Fucking around. You know? God damn. Ah, get. Be gone with you. I'm just trying to carefully get it off there without... I'm trying not to pry or move this thing too much, like I said. I don't want cracks to develop there, so I'm trying to just be as careful as possible. Okay, got her off. Every time it rains, it rains. Plastic doohickey. Okay. Let me look at something real quick. Okay, so I didn't want to do a full overview of how to build the pump. There's a bunch of great videos online about that already. I have one of close-up of redoing the pump. We don't need to do that again. But I stalled for a minute because I forgot which gasket went to the pressure regulator versus the other thing. The pump differences with this is the pump on top where you hook the regulator housing, where you plug that in, it's a little taller on the new one than the old pump. So I had to, just make sure everything was adjusted correctly so it would stay on there. You'll see you have to move the thing down a notch, but otherwise everything connected perfectly. I turned it on to make sure all the gauges worked, but I have the switch in the off position because I don't want to run the fuel pump without gas in it, which is what we have to do now. So, and this video isn't about how to replace a fuel pump, it's if this fuel pump is a viable option, because the other one seems to be sold out every once in a while. Sometimes it's hard to get. This one always in stock, so that's kind of why I want to do it. This one is supposed to be the same in every way, pressure, everything, just volume. And so far, went together basically the same. Everything worked together just fine. I think it just needs to be tried out. So yeah, so if you can't find the good, proper, cheaper pump, you can pay a little more money and get this bad boy, and it will fit, but let's see if it runs. Let's go get gas. I'm not putting that stuff back in there. We'll put that in the tractor because it can run turpentine, but this can't. So let's go get some good gas, and then we will put a couple gallons in there, fire it up, go fill it up somewhere, go for a ride. I don't know. We'll see. But right now, I'm sweaty. And I'm gonna go take a shower and finish this later because it's hot. So now that I've had a shower and got everything back together, put in a couple gallons of gas. We got just under a quarter of a tank. That should be enough to get us primed and see what's going on. Yeah, all we have now to do is It's also, looks like it's going to rain, which will be cool. So it's not quite as hot. What am I thinking? I don't know, let's try it. Let's see if it works. Hold on to your butts. Well, sounds correct. Okay, well, it's doing the thing. Why don't we get the seat on here? Yeah, let's just start it. Well, she runs. Just gonna have to clear the engine light and take her for a ride tomorrow. Yeah, let's go for a ride tomorrow morning. I mean, so far so good, right? Yeah, it sounds like it's supposed to. Sounds like the original pump. But yeah, I don't know. Seems like it's fine to me. So we'll go for a ride tomorrow, but I'm definitely thinking that this pump is a viable, slightly more expensive, but more readily available fuel pump. So tomorrow will be the real test, but yeah, I don't know. Seems like it's fine. Seems like it's doing the thing. I always liked this bike. Well, not always. I mean, I've only had it for a couple years now, 3 years, I think. But I do like the Jenny a lot. The Jenny is the one I need to spend the most time with, though. It's the one I have the least experience with, and I feel a trip coming on. So let's get it ready and let's go on a trip, shall we? All right, engine light, battery cover, and I put the damn thing away. I got a little ahead of myself, and I saw the engine light was on. So, all right, let's clear the engine light, and then we'll go for a ride.